Hello, I'm James Barth from Rock Hard 4x4, and I want to take a minute and explain to you our new river rack system that we're really excited about for the back of the vehicles. Now, this design is designed also for the Ford Bronco and the Jeep JLs with other models to come, but it has two separate part numbers for the different vehicles as the tailgate vent cover is different. This design is designed to work off the vent cover. Now, we've mounted to the vent cover on the back of your tailgate for a couple different reasons. One is it makes it really simple to open in the back of your Jeep if you need to get anything else out. But what we've done is we've eliminated the biggest thing that you put in your vehicle when you're going camping or any other outing, which is the cooler, and we've put it on the back of the vehicle. Now, there's a couple reasons for this. One is it's now separately, so you don't have the beverages and such in the vehicle while you're driving. Now, a couple other things that we've done here with it is we've made it quick attach, which means that there's this nice 1/2-inch pin down here on the bottom side, which you can pull a slip pin and pull the pin itself out and just lift the basket off. Now, this particular basket is designed to work with a lot of different coolers. Now, the standard cooler size that we've picked is a 45-quart cooler. Now, we've made this to fit, and you're showing it with a Yeti, but you can use whatever cooler style you're looking to do. We actually supply the bracketry, and you supply the padlock you want. Now, this bracketry is designed to go right in here through the side of your Yeti, or other coolers that have that same style of lock. You can put your padlock on it right here. Gives you a lot of extra storage inside your vehicle. Keeps your cooler and your drinks where they're nice and ready and easily available. It does work with the factory Jeep third tail light. It does work with the camera down below. We have it going into a mount. Now we're going to go ahead and show you how to install this river rack system. We're going to go ahead and show you how to bolt all these pieces that come in that box together. First of all, you're going to start with the piece that's going to go up against the vehicle. That is going to sit on the outside here, and then you're going to bring the floor up to it. Then you're going to put the bolt here in the center first, using one of the Allen heads bolts with the lock nuts. We're going to bolt the front on. Next, we're going to go ahead and put the sides in. Now we're going to go ahead and bolt the sidewall to the back and the front wall to the sidewall. And we're going to go ahead and finish that out for the rest of the basket here. The big factor about when building this basket is the front and the bottom and the rear and the sides and the position of which you start with. You want to start with the one going towards the Jeep first, and then the floor sits on top of that, and then the back or the rear of the vehicle, that also goes under the floor. So you're going to bolt the center bolts here and here with the front and the back areas under the floor, and then the sides go on top of the floor and also on the insides of the front and the back. As shown here. Now, you'll notice that we did put the heads of the bolts so that they look better with the button heads on the outside across the back and the button heads going through the back towards the front or towards the vehicle. Okay, and then on the bottoms you can put the bolts either way, whether you put the nuts on the bottom or the button heads, it doesn't matter, because the edges of a cooler or whatever, most of the stuff you're going to be putting in this rack have a taper to them, so there won't be a factor. We're going to go ahead and use a 5/32 Allen and a 7/16 N wrench and go ahead and start tightening up all these bolts. Now we're going to go ahead and install the anti-vibration or rubber dampening system. You're going to take the fully threaded Allen head bolt along with the rubber, push it through the spacer part, and on a Jeep you're going to put them on the inner sides here on a JL. And then we're going to use a 5mm Allen wrench and a 1/2-inch wrench for the inside. And we'll go ahead and snug these down in place. Now, for purposes of showing how this system works, we have two different holders here, and depending on the style of vent plate of the model of your vehicle is where it either hangs here, like on a Bronco or on a JL, it hangs here. And then we're going to put a single pin through the bottom. So to show you how all this installs, we're going to go ahead and put the, and go ahead and set it here on the hooks, and go ahead and we'll show you how to install the pin. Now, if you notice these rubbers, when this goes against that vent plate, when we put this pin in, we're actually going to have to put some pressure on it to squish into the rubber. That helps keep this basket and everything really solid when you're going down the road. Okay, a lot of people have asked how to take this factory piece off. This is just something good to know if you ever have to change a tire, you got to take it off for whatever reason you may be. What you do is there's a little lock here, and you take a T30 Torx, and this little lock pushes that pin up and down. So take a T30, go ahead and unlock it, and as it's locked here, pull it off. Then we're going to go ahead and take a 7/8 socket and remove the lug nuts. Now we'll go ahead and remove the tire. Now what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to go ahead and remove the tire carrier itself by removing the bolts here on that are 13 millimeters. There's a total of 8 of them. We'll do that next. We're going to go ahead and pull this plastic out. What I do is I just take a tooler, this is what like a pin puller, rubber mount puller, you know, plastic tubs, they work really well. But you're just going to remove this. This has just got a couple clips going around it. Now here's the thing, you don't actually have to pull it off here if you want to get creative and do a little extra work here. We're going to go ahead and pull the electrical out of the tailgate so that we can set this on a bench to show you how to do this. So we're going to go ahead and pull this plastic here, okay, which is the taillight one, and this here is the one for your camera. And we've go ahead and undone both of those. Now let's go around the other side of the tailgate. Okay, now that we've done that, we can go ahead and unbolt the last little bolts here and remove the actual carrier itself, or what we call is the vent cover for the factory Jeep. As you can see, this factory piece covered your vents. Well, we want to keep those covered, so one is you don't get moisture or anything in. So our plate that we're going to put here now, which also is our holder, is a vent cover plate also. Now we're going to go ahead and install the vent cover. This is also our bracketry that'll hold our mount. We're reusing the factory hardware that come with your carrier. Now that we have the Rockhard 4x4 vent cover on, we'll grab two more bolts here and finish that up. We'll go ahead and show you how to install the next step. We're going to go ahead and retighten these with the factory bolts with a 13 millimeter socket. We're going to use a T20 and go ahead and remove these screws that hold the camera mount inside the factory vent cover. Once you've done that, go ahead and flip it over. Now, this piece here, I've already taken it loose once as we did this, but I want you to know that it just pulls out, except for sometimes you'll have to get like a screwdriver and stuff on here and actually pull it out, because it has where it kind of gets really tight around the top of the bolts and this plastic insert that they put in here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and remove this bracket piece and go ahead and remove the wire from this clip holder. So once you pop this loose, and the reason it goes in there tight is because it's wedged in here. So you just pop this loose, bring it out. This will bring your camera and this piece out. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and remove this Torx screw here, which will remove this bracket. Now, there is 2 different styles of cameras that come or are used. And we're going to show you the installation of which is the newer style, but some of your earlier cameras use this other piece, which also requires this little screws and stuff that we send here. So we're going to go ahead and pull this one out here and we'll show you how it all goes together. Now once you have the bracket off, to undo the camera, you just kind of push in on this clip here. Now we're going to go ahead and take the electrical out for the light. We're using our Torx and removing all the screws around the casing of this factory taillight. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it so that the wiring, when it comes out of it, is going to be long enough to reach our bracket in. We've removed the electrical from our taillight and our camera from the center. Now that we have these removed, we'll go ahead and remove the electrical from these clips. On this particular Jeep, we're going to go ahead and show you how to install the third taillight. Now, we'd already put these bolts in earlier, but we're going to go ahead and remove them now. These are the inner two on the top. Pretty simple deal. You're going to go ahead and take the taillight, as we showed, coming out of the factory bracket, and you're going to use the two screws that come with it factory, and you're going to go ahead and reinstall it into our bracket, and then you'll go ahead and reconnect your electrical. Very simple deal, okay? Now, we've allowed a provision to the side here so that you can zip tie it, which we'll show here in a minute, but we're going to go ahead and install this bracket here back into the factory holes on this vent cover. And we'll go ahead and retighten those with a 13mm socket. Next, we're going to go ahead and install our camera mount. Now we're going to go ahead and place the camera in the holder as we've shown here. Now on the JL there's two different styles of brackets, which means there's also two different styles of cameras. This one here has a smaller square front than the other one. That's how you tell the difference. We're going to go ahead and mount the bracket on the back side of this here as we've shown you, and now we're going to go ahead and plug it in to the electrical, which is on the Jeep, and then we're going to go put it in the back of the camera holder like this. And we'll bolt that down in place using this 1/4 inch bolt. Now, if you want to, if you want to get really technical and you want to change the view of your camera, you can bend this bracket slightly, which will angle the camera up or down to make sure that you have it to get the view that you're looking for. Now we're going to go ahead and reconnect the electrical here for the camera, the coax. Turn it, put it in the camera mount, install our bolt. So place the bolt through the nut on the back side and go ahead and tighten. All right, now that we've got our camera installed in our mount, we're going to go ahead and place it back here in place with the factory bolts on this vent cover. We're going to tighten those with a 13mm socket. We're going to grab a couple zip ties and zip tie our electrical in the places it's needed and go ahead and re-thread it back through the tailgate. Now that we've finished with the installation on everything, we're going to go ahead and install the basket onto the Jeep and go ahead and place our pin in to keep it secure. Now one thing that will help is if you push down on the basket here at the outside, because we've squished it into rubber to help keep any vibrations down.